You better not cuss either.
That's something we should be telling you, Corey.
You mean you?
Okay, hold on a second here. Let's just go ahead and.
Who swears in this classroom? You said 3 classes.
So that was Jaden and Ja'Cory. Who else? Okay, let's try to actually have some fun together. It's recording. All right, we're going to start up here at the top. We're going to start with just a big oval, like an upside down egg. That's what step by step means. I do the step, you follow along. We're not talking. Okay. Next step. So we're going to keep things really simple, basic shapes right here. If you want to elaborate and add more details as we go along, you can. We're going to do just 2 lines here for a neck. I have erasers over there. Go get your own. Okay, the character that we're drawing doesn't have arms, so we're just going to draw sort of like a body and stop down here. And I'll show you how to do the legs next. Making this just a slight bit longer there. All right, give him a belt, or her a belt. You could make your character female if you want. That's up to you. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hopefully you're drawing with a pencil so you can erase your marks if you need to. All right, let's make some legs. So we're going to first draw some shorts. You can make pants if you want, or you can make a dress or a skirt or. Inside your head thoughts. Put it on your drawing. We'll be able to see what you're thinking. Okay, now, the legs, we're going to come down, just 2 straight lines. We're not trying to add muscle tone or anything like that. Of course you can if you want to. That's your creativity. Then down here at the bottom, we're going to draw the feet. And this character has claws. So a claw that goes back. And then of course the toes are like shaped like claws. If you want to add a little bit more detail, you can draw the little curves where the ankles are. You can even draw the lines of the tendons that lead down to the toes if you want. You can give them shoes if you want. Ooh, what would be cool is if you draw the shoes and then draw the toes like kind of like coming out. The toenails, that is. It's a drawing. It's not real. Let's not be gross. Okay, so a couple more seconds to finish up the feet. Some people need a little bit more time. Alright, so I told you guys that our character doesn't have any arms. In its place, this character has wings. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw sort of like two big swoopy, curvy lines here. One on each side. You want them to be rather big. Think of how big the wings of a bird are in proportion to its body. The wings are much bigger than the bird's body. That's what allows it to be able to fly. That's what creates lift when the bird flies. A little bit of science in there. Yeah. They just curve up here at the top. Sorry about that. Okay, now add another line that shows the top of where, I guess the bone would be of the top of the wings, because wings have bones in them. That's how a bird's able to flap them. They have bones and muscles that make them so that they can control and flap their wings. It's not a bird. Okay, now for the actual main part of the wing, the saily part of the wing, I guess is what you might call it. It probably is an actual better word for it. We're just gonna use curving lines to make it look sort of like a bat wing. This character's actually supposed to have feathery kind of wings, but I don't want to sit here and draw feathers with you for 15 minutes because think of how many feathers we'd have to add. A lot is correct. Probably 100, if not 200.
Are we drawing a lizard?
No, we're drawing a monster.
It's a bird. We just draw a normal person if we want.
I said you have your own creativity, so you can change it however you want. Okay, let's go to the face. So we're going to draw two big eyes that are like big ovals, kind of like an alien, but this isn't an alien. According to the legend, it's not. What'd you say? You got it.
What?
The Mothman.
I thought it was you. I should give him a say. It's a man that has give him a say.
This is the Mothman.
He's the messenger of
I'll read this to you when we're done drawing. It's actually a real urban legend, the Mothman. Okay, now the face is he doesn't have a mouth, he doesn't have nose, or it doesn't have a mouth, it doesn't have a nose. Instead, it just has these sort of like insectoid ridges that go down the middle where the nose and the mouth would be. Maybe there's some kind of sensors. And then it has sort of what kind of looks like a cheekbone that goes across the face like this. I'll read you the page when we're done drawing. Now, to add some character to your drawing, you're going to want to go through and find some areas where you can make the lines thicker. Alternating thickness and thinness of line is what makes a drawing more dynamic and unique. So maybe on one side of each leg. Oh, I almost forgot. We got to draw. The Mothman is really bony. So you got to draw lines for the bones, like the rib cage and stuff. I don't know why we're commenting so much. These are kind of like the bones that lead to the wings. It's probably not really bones. It's probably No, it would be like the exoskeleton of an insect.
Ew.
Oh, it's working. Okay.
What?
It's just what they call it. Yes.
Are you gonna add like a middle to it?
What do you mean a middle?
No, like the middle to the ribcage thing.
Oh, you mean like this area here?
No.
We can.
I gave him that
Is
tail.
it a boy or a girl?
Doesn't say.
What's yours?
I don't know. It's a moth. It's a moth man, so that means man, I guess.
I probably
On the wings, we can make ridges for where each section of the flaps of the wing are. Again, think of like a bat. You can draw feathers if you want. You can change your drawing.
What is this? What is wrong with his looks? I hope you're not drawing what I think you're drawing.
he has a capital court hat.
You can add little wrinkly lines or ridged lines to his face.
It's a tail. It's a tail.
See, I told you talk about
It's
the
a
super
tail.
fans again. That looks like a bird.
He's a Saiyan. And Saiyans have tails.
Not all
Actually, all of them are born with them, but they might.
Not all of them.
usually have
Luke
a couple. Yeah.
Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is another technique that you can use, excuse me, for shading, and it's called cross-hatching. So, with a pencil, you can shade by, using your finger and kind of smearing the graphite around to make darker and lighter areas. But you can also use crisscrossing lines. It's called cross-hatching. So the first thing that you might do is you might just find an area where you think there's going to be a shadow, like along the edge of this wing right here, and just draw diagonal lines coming from the edge to darken that edge.
What is it?
These are hatching lines.
Do we have any antennas?
No, he doesn't have antennas. You can add them if you want, though, make yours different. So experiment with hatching lines a little bit. Experiment with alternating the thickness and thinness of line. We call that line weight, actually. A thicker line has more weight. A thinner line has less weight.
Okay, what did you do? I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that.
You knew I was so
He watched. He started talking about that. Yes, I have a quick question. It's a song. No, right here.
If you really want an area to be dark, you can actually do the cross hatching where you draw lines that crisscross over each other.
Oh no. Why would you do that?
So these wings might be rather dark. Cross hatching also creates texture. I'm going to have to start giving out marks
That's
again
what
here.
I would look like if I was Saiyan.
You wouldn't have no hat looking bastard. You would have your hat looking
It's a capsule form hat. It's a capsule form
You got that hat like this.
Have you never
You don't have that hat, bro.
Okay.
You know his dad made him turn that hat like this.
I have completed mine.
Continue on experimenting with cross hatching lines.
Goku's 56 years old.
Giving out conduct marks, just so you know. I'm just not saying anything, I'm just doing it. So if you're talking, just assume that you're getting one. I'm not going to answer your question right now. You should be drawing.
Are we supposed to do those lines?
That's why I'm teaching them to you, so that you can experiment. And that's why I've also said 3 times, continue experimenting with hatching lines. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of how you can use cross-hatching lines. This is a comic that I drew a few weeks ago. And if you look through the background and on the details, particularly of the truck, all of that is cross-hatching lines. So the darker areas have the most cross-hatching. In the windows, I've got, diagonal lines going back and forth, and I've also got horizontal and vertical hatching lines going through there. I also am using hatching lines to shade, for instance, down there on the wheels. I'm using them on the tree to create the texture of bark. You can also create texture by using dots. So that's another thing that's called pointillist or stippling. You can see that I've used hatching lines on the back of the coat and the back of the hat, and also even in the artwork that's hanging on the wall right there. Those are all examples of how you can use cross-hatching. On the hat here, on the face, you can use it on the face. So you have to sort of, when you're drawing something from your imagination, you have to kind of imagine where is the dark areas going to be and where is the light areas going to be. Continue experimenting with cross-hatching and line weight. Mm-hmm.
I thought this wasn't a imagination. I thought this was real.
Yeah, wasn't it in the book?
It is in the book, and I'm going to read it in just a minute. I just want to finish drawing a little bit here.
I have complete.
Why are you out of your seat? We're still doing step-by-step drawing instruction. You could also add cross-hatching lines in areas where you know there's going to be deep shadows, like, for instance, down on the legs. He's probably going to have a lot of shadowy areas around the edges of his legs because they're underneath his body, and the upper parts of the body are casting shadows on his legs. His shorts are probably going to cast a bit of a shadow over his legs. He's probably going to have some shadows across his feet to model the feet so that they look like they're 3-dimensional. Cross-hatching is a pretty advanced drawing technique. It takes a lot of practice. So I recommend, if you like this and if you like the look of cross-hatching, to do some practice drawing on your own. Pick a subject, either from imagination or even looking at something in real life, and try doing some drawing with cross-hatching. It works best if you have a tool that uses black ink. So a Sharpie marker or a pen, a gel pen would be good, like a Pilot G2 pen. Those are really good for cross-hatching.
Dude, he got hair on him. Look,
I don't know, I've never seen one before. If you want to put hair on him, you can. Yes?
Are we allowed to outline them with markers?
Yeah, you can. All right, so I'm gonna end the step-by-step drawing instruction right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to continue experimenting with cross-hatching. While I do that, I will read you a little bit about the Mothman.
Is that going on
If-
YouTube?
I don't know.
What's your YouTube channel?
I'm not gonna tell you.
You really
Because I've said it over and over again. If you don't listen, oh well, that's your fault.
Could I borrow one of these?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know how well they work. Alright, so here's the legend of the Mothman. This is a very simplified version. They actually made a movie out of it. Actually, I think they made 2 movies. While I'm reading, do not talk. It says, for 13 months in the mid-1960s, a bizarre birdman with glowing red eyes haunted a small town in the USA. This winged being had a laser-like, hypnotic stare and instilled utter dread in all those who saw it and was said to bring disaster. Witnesses to the monster described it as being taller than a man and having gray skin, no arms, and big wings, which it kept folded behind its back when on the ground. To take off, it unfolded its wings and shot up into the air without flapping. Keep tapping and I'll keep giving you consequence marks. One freezing night in December 1967, the Silver Bridge over the Ohio River in Point Pleasant collapsed at the height of the evening rush hour, killing dozens of people. To this day, monster hunters blame Mothman. And this is actually a picture of that incident. It says, its structure weakened by years of heavy traffic since its construction in 1928, the suspension bridge suddenly gives way, plunging cars and trucks into the icy black depths below. As the cries of people floundering desperately in the river fade, Mothman circles unseen overhead, calmly observing the terrible scene, then silently flies off into the night, never to be seen again. And then it just has a map down here showing you where the incident actually occurred. There's many more sightings. This is just the most famous one of the Mothman. In the description over here, and this could inform your drawing if you're continuing to work, which you should be. It says, the eyes were so big and red, no other features were visible. Mothman never attacked anyone, but some people said its stare made their own eyes sore for days afterwards. Most eyewitnesses agreed that Mothman's body was gray. Some thought it was wrinkled as well. About the wings, it says, the wings had a span of about 9 feet, 10 inches, but no one could say if they were feathered or bat-like. So here, they pictured it as feathered. Since it's the Mothman, I kind of did the bat wings because moths don't have feathers. They just have that weird dust all over them. Okay, if you get finished with your drawing, you may choose either color pencil or marker to add color. You can outline your drawing. A dark color works the best for outlining. Or you can just sit and continue to experiment with cross-hatching, which is what I'm going to do. There is still no talking. I'll just keep marking. When you're cross-hatching, it helps to turn your drawing sideways sometimes. What do you need, Elijah?
Line pens or pens.
The pens are in that basket right there, if you want to use that.
Can I put it on Artsonia? Can I put the drawing on Artsonia?
Not today. If you want to put it on Artsonia, you can make sure your name's on the back and turn it in to me, and I'll put it on for you. But you should still be working on it, really, right now. In there. Another thing about hatching is the closer you put the hatching lines together, the darker the effect, and the farther apart, the lighter the effect. So if you want a lighter shadow, you would put them farther apart. Another thing that you might do is add a title to your drawing somewhere in an open space. You could also invent a background if you wanted. You could draw a shadow beneath him. That'll help him pop out from the background and add a little bit more of the three-dimensionality to him.
Can I get a different paper?
Yeah, over there.
I messed up.
Well, you can't erase it and fix it? Oh, you messed up with the Sharpie? Well, you drew in pencil first, right?
I'm just trying to see mine look like it's going into the like he going into
Go ahead. I already said you could get another piece of paper. That's fine. You can also make hatching lines curved to show a surface that is, sort of bending or folding. So like these wings right here, I'm kind of making these hatching lines just slightly curved to show that they're folded up a little bit. Corey, start with an 05 on that. Are you finding one? Yeah, that's usually what happens. guys, if you wanna, why don't we go ahead and write your class code on the back, and I'll collect these because these are really, really good, and I think I didn't plan to make this more than a one class assignment, but these are so good I think we should at least try to put them on Artsonia when we come back from spring break. So I'd like to give you a little bit more time to complete your shading technique, and then maybe even go over it with ink, because I do have packs of Sharpies that came in last week. I'm not going to give them out right now, but I'll give them out when we come back. Yeah, take it home, bring it back. So what I need you to do right now is to pass your drawings down to the ends of the rows. Pass them down. Make sure your name is on the back before you do. Is this yours? You're gonna abandon that. That's really good. Look, I'll show you. I got something you can use. Where's the mistake that you made? Specifically, this line right here? Well, you can cover that up with hatch. And I also have this, which you have to do it a specific way.
No, because you already broke my monkey camera. Give it. Yes, you did. Give it.
Correction fluid. It's like whiteout, but in a pen. You gotta let that dry for a second. Okay, I don't have all the drawings. Please pass them down. Okay, this table can line up. This table, pass your drawings down, please. Are you going to take it with you? No? Okay. It's right there. Open the door.
What are drawings doing?
No, leave it open, please. I think I lost it. There it is. I see it.